I'm on this journey. I was 36 years old. I was tired, but who isn't tired? You know, you work 40, 50 hours a week. But my husband was like, do you need me to go with you? And I was like, no, they're just checking the incision. It's not a big deal. I'm going to zoom over, go in, let them check everything, and come back and go to work. That did not go down like that. So he comes in, the thoracic surgeon, with this report and is like looking behind the door, you know, looking around this little tiny room. And it's like, are you by yourself? And I knew right then what was about to come. I knew I just had this dark cloud of empty that just left. You know, it was, I can't even explain it, but I was like, yep, I'm by myself. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fall apart. I'm gonna bow up. I'm gonna do this. And I say often that was the, for lack of better words, the gut punch, the sucker punch of my life. And many I know also can relate and would say the same. But I felt like I had cinder blocks for shoes on my feet, just putting one step in front of the other just to get the heck out of there. Just get me out of here. And when I heard the click of my car door, I lost it. I lost my mind. I was weeping and wailing. If somebody was nearby, they likely would have called a crisis intervention officer to come help me because I lost it. And I cranked up my car and just sat there. And then I had to call my husband and say, this is what's happening. And then I called my mother. She's like, do you need me to come and get you? I was like, no, I can drive. I don't remember the drive to her home, but and then I called my dad. And so those are the three that I called. At my initial appointment with the oncologist, you know, there was a mountain of paperwork, you know, you had to fill out. He was with me for 2 hours because I was just, this was a new world. And so he told me that he was going to send off the tissue and request, well, not send it off, but request for further testing from Mayo Clinic. And he went down the list with all the possible courses of treatment. If I had PD-L1, this is immunotherapy, and this is what it does, and this is how you do it. You know, it doesn't, your hair will be fine, blah, blah, blah. And then if you have ALK, it'll be this. If you have this, EGFR, there's a brand new drug called Tagrisso. It's a targeted therapy. You take it by mouth. Or if you don't have any, then you'll be on traditional chemo infusion. Well, I heard pill, take it by mouth. And I'm like, I want that. It didn't work that way. You know, you don't get to choose it exactly like that. But he, you know, was rattling off all these letters and numbers, and I was just like, what? But the thing that resonated with me was pill and take it at home once a day. And I was like, I can do this. So I had, even though I had no idea about a mutation or a biomarker or whatever, thankfully he did. And he was privy to all of that and knew, okay, we need to figure out, does she have this or that? And I did. I was EGFR, T790, and the oral treatment that I got to start targeted that exact mutation. And so I'm like, I have won the lung cancer lottery. If anybody can, you know, find something positive out of this, that I felt like I had overcome the world. I'm like, okay, I'm going to live. I'm going to be all right. more runway for me. Where's my pills? Give them to me, because I had seen people sick on infusion therapy, and I was like, I don't want to be. And there are people that are so terribly sick right now that are fighting just to get up out of the bed and feed themselves, to go to the restroom. So I don't take any of it for granted. And I certainly do not brag and say, look at me, I don't have to do all of that, because I know things will change eventually. There will be a resistance. There will be a next treatment. And I'm not going to get to sit here and be here forever. But I certainly don't take for granted that I was able to take something by walking to my medicine cabinet and swallowing a pill that has kept those cells at bay and has kept my cancer under control. And my question was, can I have wine? Can I have wine on this drug? And he's like, oh, so you want to get sloshed now? And I'm like, well, I have permission to do so, right? So we kind of, laughed about that. But he was like, live your life how you would normally live your life. You just have to take a pill every single day. So go do you, and don't worry about restrictions. Do what you feel like doing. And so I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to be okay. I saw people that were living with this, and I'm like, oh, there's hope. I can keep going. I'm not going to be taken out of here tomorrow. This is not a death sentence. I know what is possible. I know what the end result could be. And so I started looking at it as a chronic disease. And then, people say, well, one day at a time, one day at a time. Yes, absolutely, one day at a time, because one day at a time is all we get anyway. And I'm able now to think about things in a different perspective. But ultimately, it's the club that nobody signed up for. It's the social club, the army, whatever you want to say, that nobody signed up for. We were drafted, but there's an entire international group of incredible people within this community that simply want the same thing, and that's more runway. It helps to have people that that understands you. My husband lives here in this house with me. We sleep in the same bed every night, but he has no clue what it feels like to have lung cancer. I can talk to him and tell him how I'm feeling until I am blue in the face, and he still doesn't have a clue. But when you can connect to someone that also has just cancer in general, whether it be breast or any of it, we understand each other in a way that others can't understand us. And we understand a different outlook on life that others can't understand. When I see or hear of somebody that's newly diagnosed with cancer, regardless of what kind, I feel compelled to reach out to them to say, hey, you've got this. You're going to fight. It's going to get rough. You're going to experience this, this, and this, but you're going to be able to keep going. You're going to get up every morning. You're going to push through, even when you feel like giving up, because giving up isn't an option. You were handed this for whatever reason. We don't know the reason. At first, I thought I was being punished for something. What's wrong in my life that I'm being punished? And that's not how it works. That's not how the universe serves us. That's not how whatever higher power that you look up to, that's not how it works. This is merely something that has happened to us, and not who we are. And I feel like that is, I only was able to grasp that through time, because it felt like I did something wrong to deserve this diagnosis, when in fact it just happened. I am proud to tell people I've been here for 43 months to the person that just started last month or today or last week, to just give hope, because there were people in front of me through a screen that offered me hope when they were sharing their story. And so we didn't know what tomorrow held before lung cancer.
Mhm.
And we certainly don't know what tomorrow holds with it. So I try to keep that perspective as well.